Now, in case it goes a little higher. Morning, who do we have on the phone? Morning, Brian. Okay, good morning, everyone. It's 8:30, so we'll convene the commissioners, the prison board meeting. Gotta get the right day here. Prison board meeting at this time. Sheriff is not with us. He's on vacation, so I'll chair the meeting this morning. Do we have a quorum? Board?
We do.
Okay. We're off to a good start.
We wait now? We good?
Okay, so I'll ask for approval of minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion. Second.
All fair side?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, do we have any public comments on agenda items only at this time? Any online?
I'm trying to connect. No.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll move on to number 2, the expenditure report. And do I have a motion to accept the expenditures?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I have a second.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Carried. Personnel actions, Ward.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have 4 personnel actions on the agenda. The first 3 are for resident supervisor positions at the pre-release center full-time. They would be Tracy Canfield, Jody Butters, and Timothy Perry. The 4th one is for a full-time resident supervisor 2 position, and that's Josh Johnson.
Okay, do I have a motion for the personnel actions?
I'll make the motion. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on to informational highlights.
Population report indicates that in the month of September, the prison had an average of 172.3 males, and at the pre-release center, 33.2 males, for an average daily population of 205.5.
Can I ask who just joined in? Okay, Commissioner, could you put your phone on mute? We're getting feedback from you. Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead, Ward.
So we had an average daily population for males of 205.5 with a peak in the month of 214. For females at the prison, there was an average of 28.67, and at the pre-release center, 4.77, for an average daily population of 33.43 with a peak of 36. Our average daily population was 238.93 with a peak in the month of 246. In-home detention had an average of 1.67 males and 0.5 females. There were no overcrowding transfers, so our total population is the same as the average daily population, 238.93, slightly higher, about 1 inmate per day higher than we saw in the month of August. Prison discipline report is next. And in the month of September, there were 46 hearings conducted. 43 of those hearings resulted in findings of guilt with lockup time. There were 3 that were suspended, and there were 0 not guilty findings. Those hearings were held on 28 inmates, 6 of which had greater than 1 incident, and there were 24 informational reports generated. Brian, is there anything that you wish to add regarding the discipline report? Bail release, or excuse me, the pre-release report is next. And in the month of September, there were an average of 12 males on work release, no females on work release. There was an average of 22 males on work crew and 5 females. The total then was 34 and 5, with a year-to-date average of 38 and 8. And then program highlights are that the PRC staff attended fire training. That was conducted on September 10th, and that was led by Training Sergeant Joe DeFrancisco. Next report is the bail release program report. And in September, there was 125.4 fines per day on average, broken down into 34.47 on supervised bail, 89.83 on intensive supervised bail, and 1.1 on supervised release. Those clients saved 3,762 days at the prison. Mental health snapshot is the next report, and in the snapshot was taken on October 10th. On that day, there was a total of 269 inmates within the prison system. And of those 269 inmates, 47.21% or 127 inmates were under roster A with no mental health history. There was 66 inmates under roster B having past mental health history but no active symptoms, and that was 24.54% of the population. There was 66 inmates under roster C as well having current mental health issues, and that's also 24.54% of the population. 10 inmates were under roster D experiencing serious mental illness, and that was 3.71% of the population. Psychotropic meds dispensed at the pre-release center, there was 11 males receiving psychotropic meds out of the 36 that day, or 30.56% of the population. Of the females at the pre-release center, 3 of the 5 were receiving meds, or 60% of the population. And at the prison, 65 males were on psychotropic meds out of 181, or 35.91%. and 15 females out of 28, or 53.57%. Total percent of inmates on meds at the pre-release center was 34.15, at the prison was 38.28, and total was 37.6. In addition to the normal reports that we have, there are we'll move to 4.7 and 4.8 before we have Tyler come up for the reentry programs. There's a couple new reports that we'll present to the board every month. The first one at the top, it says Lycoming County Prison Programs. And we thought it was a good idea to present to the board on a monthly basis the programs that we're running at the prison for the inmate population and then the attendance in those programs. At the bottom, you can see that we have AA, NA, drug and alcohol, life skills, MAT, the Penn College program, the reentry program, and our education program. And then the number of participants at the top, it breaks it down on males or females, and also has an indication of the amount of programs that we run per month. We also did the same thing for the pre-release center. That's the next report in your packet. This is the PRC monthly program report. Same programs, or some of the same similar programs. It gives you the title of the programs as far as AA and NA, the Penn College Communications, Drug and Alcohol Group, Building Your Skill Sets, GED, and Tutoring. Gives you a little bit of a description of the programs, as well as the number of groups held and the total attendees in the month. And then the final report in that packet is a report from our mental health liaisons, and it indicates how many referrals and assessments were completed in the month, how many suicide observations were completed, how many medication checks were reviewed with our psychiatrist, and also community referrals for boundary spanning in September. And that, again, as I said, that report is provided by the MHID representatives who work out of the prison and provide mental health services to the population. Tyler, if you want to move on to 4.6, the reentry.
Can I ask real quick, what is a boundary span?
Chris, can you explain that?
Boundary spanning is basically on the mental health side. we have a dedicated mental health professional, Barbara Osborne, that's kind of, so it's connecting people with, it's making sure we have a better medication so that they have scripts and a place to go to pick them up. It's all in that gap, get out, takes them a while, get that on there. So we really shored that up, through her use, plus just getting appointments, places to go. So it's re-entry, but it's a, in that world, it's very good to have somebody from the mental health side who knows everything that's available. It has worked mental health for a while. It's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Critical they work hand in hand with them right from,
Yeah,
right from the release,
yeah,
right from being released from the
and
jail.
it's not to take anything away from Joe Ryan. Form of reentry, and why I have the short, Tyler has adjusted my request because I was shaping all these reports for the program. You can get mental health both there. So you'll notice on his report, we now add what he does each month. Four was more materially average, so we're trying. So there may be some things I work out to reports, see what makes sense for everybody as well. But to best explain what's going on. And thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So first, I'll start off with a report from John Stahl, APO. The program population statistics for this month was 0 sentenced, 130 to APO, 0 on pretrial. The total program population as of October 1st was 130. There was 101 male clients and 29 female clients. There was 57 program phase 2 clients and 23 program phase 3 clients. The total process intakes to date is 2,058. Moving on to the GPS and alcohol monitoring services, there are 28 active clients receiving these services, 10 of which are alcohol monitors, 6 of the GPS monitors, 7 of the home guards, and 5 of the SL3 breathalyzers. The total amount of client intakes into the GPS alcohol monitoring services is 2,119. The juvenile overview of services, there's 21 active cases on GPS services through GEO monitors as of October 1st. Moving on to the in-prison reentry statistics, as Chris mentioned, this will be a little different, and I will update this every month in regards to the statistics for that month. So this one obviously is reflecting September's statistics. So the current active participants for the month of September was 39 with 0 pending intakes. The total intakes completed was 100. So for the September intakes, there was 12, 9 of which were done at PRC, 3 of which were done at the prison. There was 2 ORAS assessments completed, so 1 at PRC and 1 at the prison as well, to make it a total of 8 this year. The transitional action plans that were created, this total is 95, 12 of which were done in September, 9 at PRC, and 3 at the prison. There have been a total of 226 sessions completed by the reentry coordinator, 28 sessions in September, 19 of which were at PRC, and 9 of which were at the prison. The total participants in the in-prison program who were released from incarceration, that total was 91. There have been 16 referrals and appointments that were made and 153 resources that were given. There have been a total of 115 total referrals made to the in-prison reentry program, 112 of which were from the prison and 3 of which were from the pre-release center. Of the total referrals made to the in-prison reentry program, 15 refused to participate in the program, 6 were released from incarceration prior to being seen, and there were 0 people that referred but did not meet the criteria of the program. The total referrals to the in-prison reentry program broken down by the month, we had a total of 13 for September. Of the referrals broken down by each sentence throughout the year, there have been a total of 6 probation violation, 11 max outs, 60 new cases, 21 domestics, 17 contempt, and 0 pretrial and treatment court. The reentry services statistics, we're seeing an average population per day of 119. There were 20 total intakes, 13 total discharges, and 3 successful completions. The electronic monitoring total participants is 50, 29 of which are adult, and 21 of which were juveniles. That is all I have.
Thank you very much.
One quick question. Explain to everybody that you're up there what sections. Everybody had.
Sections completed?
Sections.
Yeah, so this section is, sessions is very broad, obviously. So this could be a session completed for like intakes when I meet with them initially to get them into the reentry program and kind of what I do. This could be follow-ups with individuals that are already on my caseloads. So once the release date with this is within a month, I meet with them every week. Obviously depending on what needs they may need. So that maybe twice, 3 times a week, maybe it's just twice a month. It all depends on their needs. So the intakes, the follow-ups, and then the ORAS assessments, individuals, our program is helping out with probation in terms of the ORAS assessments. So if they have a PO and they're on my caseload, I'm getting in there 30 days before the release date to knock out the ORAS so they don't have to worry about it when they're out. So between the intakes, the follow-ups, the ORASs, it's just individual meetings when I'm meeting with these people. So obviously, like I said, I meet with them once a week, once it's within that 1 month release date. So that's what sessions is. Obviously, I understand it's kind of broad, but that's why you see that number kind of high, because it's the sessions that I complete with the individuals that are on my caseload.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, yes.
Morning.
Tony Cooper, South Point. Have you noticed any increase in people not being able to show up because of the location change? It's been a few months.
Yeah, so when we first moved, there was a little bit of trouble, obviously with the nice benefit of having a courthouse there, a lot of resources that were in downtown, and then moving that transition to the 5444 East 3rd Street. So at the beginning, there was a little bit of trouble, but our reentry program offers bus passes, and there is a bus stop right across the street. So we've seen an increase in the bus passes when we first move. So people are finding means of transportation. So the attendance since we moved to now has increased. But obviously during that first month when we did move, we did see a slight decrease, but it's back to the normal numbers that we've always had. So yeah. Yep. Yeah, I know. But it's a lot better now than it was when we first started. Because when we first started, it was kind of a wreck. But we got it all hashed out, and it's been good. So
It was important that we either found a location on the bus route or near the bus route. So we were fortunate to find one on the bus route. Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Moving on to additional informational highlights, on September 4th, the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections Executive Deputy Secretary of Institutional Operations, Michael Wenerowicz, issued a letter to the Prison Board Chairman, Sheriff Mark Lusk, regarding the 2024 inspection of the prison in the pre-release center that was conducted on May 2nd and 3rd of this year. The prison and the pre-release center met or exceeded compliance with Title 37, Chapter 95 standards. Essentially, what that means for the board is that we were in compliance with our inspection. That's what we strive to do. And because of being in compliance, our next inspection cycle will be in 2026. We skip a year. And that's one of the benefits of being in full compliance. It's, I'd like to recognize our staff, the prison and the pre-release center staff, for their work and what they do on a daily basis, because the inspection, as you can see, it's a 2-day inspection. It's very thorough. The Department of Corrections comes in and does everything. And so I think it's a testament to the work that they do.
Thank you.
On September 5th, prison staff attended fire training. That was conducted by Training Sergeant Joe DeFrancisco. On September 18th, Deputy Warden Ebner and Deputy Warden Barnes conducted a tour of the jail for a Lycoming College criminal justice class. We work very closely with Dr. Carrie Richmond on several projects, and in turn, she at times will bring her classes in for her criminal justice classes and a tour of the jail to see what our day-to-day operations are like. September 19th, Deputy Warden Ebner and I attended a meeting with West Branch Drug and Alcohol Abuse Commission staff to discuss the implementation of the Vivitrol grant. Chris, do we know, was that grant approved? Are we?
I believe finally.
I thought we got it, yes. On September 20th, Deputy Warden Ebner and I attended the quarterly Lycoming County Criminal Justice Advisory Board meeting. Also on September 20th, Deputy Warden Ebner, Lycoming County Prison Correctional Counselor Chloe Perrin, and Pre-Release Center Correctional Counselor Carrie Snook met with the Sun Gazette to discuss in-prison programming. After last month's meeting, Pat Crosley, who's here today, had met with me just briefly and wanted to do an article in the newspaper highlighting the in-prison programming. And with Chris being overseeing the in-prison programming, I asked him to reach out to her. They scheduled a meeting and discussed that, and we appreciate the Sun Gazette support, highlighting what we're doing at the jail. And then on September 25th, the prison treatment staff met with a representative from Service Access Management Incorporated, and that was to discuss services that they provide. Chris, is there anything that you wanted to add regarding that organization?
They're an organization that's throughout the state, and what they do is, I'm always looking for something, a place to help people with the mental health challenge. So we're trying to work things out, so we're getting another source out. Set up.
They're an agency, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they're an agency that would help with, we would call it a warm handoff. Somebody that's being released from jail, they're not just being released and then have to go out and set up all these services on their own. They would assist with having services in place so that the person that's leaving the jail today doesn't have to worry about how are they going to get a lot of these things done that they need to get done. There's already a process started to get those in place before they're. Those are all the informational highlights I have.
Okay, thank you, Warden. Do we have any old business at this time? We will recess at this time for the executive session, there's personnel matters to discuss. We can go over into the other boardroom, and then we'll come back here, I believe.
Yep, and if Commissioner Shortman and Brian Bluth can stay on the line, we'll disconnect here,
Send it over there.
connect over there, and then reconvene after we're
Okay.
done.
All right, so I should hang this up.
Yes,
Let them, okay,
I can just stay on and.
yeah,
yes, please.
just stand in line, both of you. Thank you. We'll call the number from the other office. Thank you. And we'll be back after shortly, and reconvene the meeting at the time.
Yeah, it's online. It kind of ties guys. It's already allocated.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, kind of look like. That's, yeah, so that's what that's. I think, yeah, I don't know, there's something there. Yeah, I'm sure there are. Yeah. I figured some of them out. Well, now you're on blast. Yeah, now you're out on blast, man.
Well, it's not up to me.
What's wrong? Yeah, I think someday, I got greater eating.
I don't know what it is.
No.
I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm not being the only one. Yeah. Well, the plastic, so
Yeah.
probably recycled, better time to recycle. Now, much more, yeah, I was just thinking. Always come. Next guy out, there's next gal, there's next human being on.
There's gonna be a gap. We have balance. That's just.
My career started. I'm free. That or I can't eat. You don't get it, you don't get it. Yeah, I don't see. He's not that much younger, so see where the gap's gonna fall.
You see what I'm worried about, right?
See where the gap's gonna, it's not that much.
If you throw the word out like that, probably. And I'm like, I look at them, get on,
Yeah.
allocation. Like,
Gotta throw it in.
well, if she would have said no, then I would have, well, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I don't make stuff up. Yeah,
Predator change is supposed to be.
that's their place.
I also get your system. Circle vocabulary, unless you read, if you read once, you expand, but for the most part, there's right? I have that for here. For example.
Oh.
He's
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
You know, I might be able to get that.
I would like to see that. You got it.
He's using the same thing. Five was using. So living. How about you?
Even.
Right.
It's the one.
But it's not, it's that group, right? Was that?
Particularly, yeah, like usually there's a particular.
Day-to-day, your day-to-day discussion.
She said it correctly, okay.
The language.
Here's one. Sit down. Stage for sufficiency. I.
Satisfying.
Yeah, that means for sufficiency. You didn't take your, did take.
That one I.
Yeah, put that one, and if you quote me in the article saying. Please.
I can spell that.
Side. My dad.
That's right. Is that
My dad, yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't a high-end vocab guy.
See the shop you do. Everybody on here, he would be. Oh, no. That's it. I don't want to do that.
It's, I don't understand. I'll go with the wall right now.
I want to make other.
And hold the board steady and I'm getting more. Good, good. Trying to line my sights up. It's not really- I haven't missed it by yet, though, so I'm. Very close. Fit.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah. About 2 years. I want to got something still around about 80. Like 5 years before. And I'm using it for storage, you know, with kid, you know, for nights and break there. So if things got bad, I get it back to the house. And now it's like a big storage place, like. Yeah, crap. And, said to her, Paul, got the best. I'm not gonna get it to work out. You know, and I have a lot of these. Clear. Excellent, we build a deck, last. Yeah, I did a lot of, steps. Steps. It's not over town there. It's. So I'm in that. It's an HVAC guy. So you start adding that. That's. With extra wood there. You know, some people are like, hey, I can build. I can't really, I can't fix it all. I can fix my car really good. I have a problem. Inside the house. talented. Yeah. I, oh, she wants to make it into a teacher. Like, guy. Football, about her, she says pretty much. I got my little 10% of the house. Move it out of the garage, I'm on my days. Now we're taking, now she's taking the little base. Bedroom. Setting up. Which was Christmas. Down there, instead of clutter, that instead of cluttering up her office that she has now. Now she's got, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't even have the whole garage. I have part of it. Yeah, man. And I have some stuff she doesn't know. I'm trying to get some kids to you know what I mean? I want to get it limited and be from saying area. You don't use it in here. Whatever it is, it's gone. If it doesn't come up in 1 year time, correct, there's no reason. You missed that thing. I did, thank you for coming back. I can tell.
Okay, we can go up on the line again?
Kind of here.
Okay, thank you. Hey, we'll adjourn the prison board meeting at this time. Reconvene, I'm sorry. And under new business, we have 2 personal actions to address. First would be regarding Isaiah Gingrich. Can I have a motion to ratify the job abandonment on Isaiah Gingrich?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
A second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Second action would be on Alicia Tice. And may I have a motion to terminate employment?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. Now, moving on, is there any public comment? Yes. Mr. Cooper. Could you please come to the podium?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's better to hear you. And then also, the microphone's right there. Thank you. Yeah, yep.
I just had a quick question. Prison board meeting in August, you were, as the chairman for that meeting, you were talking about the cost of PRC, the taxpayer, roughly $2 million a year. You just got the numbers today, and it looks like there's like a population of maybe 37-ish people out there. And we're still looking at 1 in every 3 person that's incarcerated has mental health issues or on psychotropic medications. That's the number that I'm going off of. I'm not talking about the untreated, but not just the people that are getting psychotropic medications. Have there been any further discussions about plans with that facility? It's obvious to me that we need some type of mental health infrastructure.
Yeah, we have a lot of different needs in the county, Mr. Cooper. We are addressing some of those. We've been having some preliminary talks about maybe some directions to go with the building and maybe making it more utilized. So I think there'll be some information coming forward in the next couple months.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely one of the needs we have. Thank you. Any other public comment this time? Any online?
I don't see.
Okay, next prison board meeting will be November the 8th at the Third Street Plaza right here in this room. And then we'll have one more for the year after that on December 13th over at the prison. And since we've completed our agenda, our meeting will be, unless there's anything further, anybody have anything further? Hearing nothing, then we'll be adjourned to the next meeting, which will be November 8th. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day, weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.